Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the one and only, I think the best analyst in Australia, the Wolf.
Don't you bloody forget it.
This is just general share advice and not personal advice.
Mhm.
Oh my wordy me, Wolf. Can I just do some house cleaning? NCM.
Yep.
So dare I say, I picked the bottom. I never do it again. What an idiot I was, but I did it. No, but we didn't really. In all fairness, Wolf, when we put this on, we weren't really picking a bottom because we're actually buying the gold chart, which was charting going
Correct.
up, right? So
This is funny though, isn't it? How
yeah,
it was a little bit different because you are picking actually the gold price, not the actual.
yeah, definitely. Because and anyway, it's worked out well.
Yep.
So it's more or less. I think our target was 21.45, which was a 21% gain. You look at the charts, you look at gold, you wouldn't be selling it. You just lift your stop loss. So I think, if you took that trade and you bought it at 17, I think it was below 17.45, I'd just be lifting my stop loss, Wolf. Maybe put it at 20.60 on the weekly,
Mhm.
and as long as it holds that, then I'd be targeting around that 23 and see if we can make a little bit more. I mean, I think so far it's a good gain of 21%. We might be able to do a little bit more on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is still this, and then you look at gold price. We had a little bit of a poor start to the week with gold. Fell, about 1.5%, 2%, but it's working itself back up to that $1,800 mark again. So gold looking a little bit better. Some of the stocks today. Dave, while you're on the housekeeping, can I just go through lithium for us for a second? Because very interestingly, Goldman Sachs on Financial Review today updates its ASX lithium stocks ratings, right? But they are the ones that are talking about next year lithium's going to fall into a heap, right? That's why they had a couple of wobbles, right? Lithium. So interesting enough, I'm going to point this out to everyone why it looks like possibly, if Goldman Sachs is right, you've got to be very, very careful here with your stories, right? So at the moment, right now, as we stand with the lithium prices, if you look at trading economics, look at the pricing right now, and I'm looking at the China because they're working in Chinese renminbi, right? It's about 572,000 renminbi. So if you translate it into US dollars, it equates to about, let me see, US dollars, $82,000, right? So $82,000. Goldman Sachs saying 2023 average price will actually be 53,000, right? That's a big fall. But now they're looking at 2024 down to 11,000, Dave. If that's the case, if Goldman Sachs is on the track here that this is going to drop down by about 70%, you've got to be wary of your lithium stocks. And of course, they're talking about the reason, they give reasons why, they think that supply demand, blah, blah, blah,
okay, explain to me then why Macquarie, because I'm surely Macquarie would have a view of future lithium prices.
Well, they're probably not as bearish on the price of falls. I don't think Macquarie will have this price going up forever, and I'm sure they also would have some sort of easing of prices once the equilibrium of the supply and demand equation comes through to fruition. But I don't think they're as crazy as Goldman Sachs. Remember, I think Goldman Sachs is an outlier in this, right? Where they are going right down. So I think, if anything, Dave, I think what we just still have to get through to our investing psyche is this cannot last forever, this sort of high pricing of lithium.
Well, I think that's such good advice, Wolf. And although things like PLS, and let's look at the big lithium stories. So, I mean, PLS is holding still an aggressive trend. But you know what, Wolf? When I listen to what you're saying, maybe don't give it, if you're in the stock, tighten your stop loss. Don't give it back down to 378.
Correct. Use
get
the green lines instead.
Yeah, use that 435. If it goes below 435 on a weekly, get out. I mean, all these lithium stops, just lift your stop on them. And I think this one is is a little bit nearer, but maybe go for that anything under, say, 1375 on the weekly, you get out. Just look at what you're owning in lithium and just tighten up your stops. And because what worries me is if they are right, Wolf, these stocks could go down.
Are bound to drop significantly. Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely. And look, at the moment, they've got, I tell you, they've on that article, they've said they've got a buy on Alchem, so AKE at 15.20. So that's the price target still.
Yeah.
Right. Even with the adjustments they're looking through in, further down the road, which is still pretty good.
Yeah.
But then where it gets a little bit more interesting, you've got core lithium at $1, so CXO.
Yeah. Right. Okay. It's not too far, but it's not. But you know what? It could just go sideways to down for years, right?
Correct. I mean, remember, this is to me, they are outliers of what they're looking at with these things. So they've also got a buy rating on mineral resources, which is obviously probably one that maybe he's got that iron ore as its support, right? They didn't give a price there. I'll probably have a look at on FN Arena. And they've got neutral ratings on Pilbara Minerals, Independence, and Liontown. So that the top 6 that we normally look at, which is interesting.
All right, and
just a food for thought for everyone that's trading these things. And I agree with you, Dave. Use the green lines. Be really aggressive with these. If they fall below that, you take your profits, you get out of them. And if they go back over them, and it looks like a trade will go again, but you've got to use that green line as your stop.
Right, just 100%. Just do not take any prisoners on it whatsoever.
Absolutely.
All right, well said, Wolf. Absolutely brilliant. Just another little piece of housekeeping. Now, TWE hit the target price, and I had a number of emails. They people took profits around that 14. The question is, Wolf, do you think you just take a profit on this one? I mean, I just want a fundamental view, because I like this chart. I still like the chart. I haven't got a problem with it. And we sort of are, in some ways, charting this. But when I hear you and Claude talk about the fundamentals, it's okay, but it's not brilliant, right? And this is what's got me a little bit, part of the Cincinnati is looking at a little bit of everything. And certainly one would be stupid if they didn't take some sort of fundamentals into account when you're looking at these stories. Are we happy with our $14? Listen.
I'll tell you what, this has always been a trading stock for me, Dave. I don't think I could ever get my head around being a fundamentally good story for me to keep in a portfolio. So this is always going to be trading stock. So I'm happy to take profits. And if it looks good next week, you start again. You get another trade going. Okay,
I think fair enough. I think definitely a profit-taking stock. Now, Wolf, one stock. There's not many trades out there. It's a pretty ugly market, and the market is having a little bit of a breather at the moment. But one section that is doing well is, we all know it because I'm trying to send my little one to my 18-year-old to America for basketball at the moment, and just flights and everything is crazy. And Qantas, we've seen Qantas absolutely knocking revenue out of the ballpark at the moment.
Yep.
And AIZ exactly the same. Now, a good announcement there. Maybe you can talk us through that. But the chart is certainly starting to swing, and I'm arguing that, Wolf, maybe there's a trade in here if we can buy it at this 0.745. I think there's plenty of volume in this stock, and we can target at least that 80. What's that? 6-7% in this market. You'd be having a look at it, wouldn't you?
I think this is a very comfortable trade, actually, Dave. This is a story that's really obviously delivered a pretty good update today, and a huge upside to their profits they're going to have. And this is exactly what the Qantas came up with. So basically, what actually happening in this industry right now, you've got prices of fuel jet is falling down because of the oil prices going down. So this helps them costs wise, right? Unbelievable. And they can charge whatever they want really for the tickets, because people want to go traveling. But the capacity is constrained, so to speak. Obviously, probably manufactured by the airlines. So the capacity constrained, so they can charge whatever they want, and they are doing that, and that's why they're super profits right now. So Dave, I mean, look, that could keep going for probably 3 months, and I'm thinking this is probably a trade, like a 3 months trade towards the FY22 or FY23 results.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got a decent stop at 0.68, haven't you? So there's nothing wrong with that at all, right? So And I think, yeah, he's got a little target price of 0.80 cents. I mean, okay, 7%.
I'll take it in
in
this market. I'll take it.
Yeah, in this world, and I think that's looking like an excellent idea, Wolf. So,
Yep.
so there's the trade of the day. Well done. Now, I just want to have a look at a number of other stories because, again, Link, price action looks awful. If it looks like that, Wolf, by the end of the week, this is going lower, and you know we're not in this. This broke trend way back. So, talk us through Link. What's the story? What's going on?
I'm actually very interested in this company as I buy, but I can't get myself around to doing it yet because obviously, first of all, the chart looks terrible. The second of all, there's still got issues in there, but there's a business in there that I can see it's actually profitable and actually cash flow positive, Dave. So there's things in there that I'm really thinking that's the sort of stories you want to buy when the chips are down, when you can see a recovery happening, when its peers are actually doing okay, like a computer share. Right? So you're thinking, why are they so bad? So there's probably about 2 or 3 things that are going against it. First of all, you know, they've had a takeover offer that just can't that. That's dead. So unfortunately, obviously, that market reacted to that as well. Low growth right now at the moment because of other issues that they're going at the moment in the company. And they've got obviously litigation going on as well, which is not great. So sentiment, part of the business is not going great, but that part of the business is actually going quite well. They've got Pexar as well. They're trying to offload. So there's just, it is a mixture of good and bads, complications. So for me, while I'm interested because of really underlying fundamentally, I think it's a good business, but bloody hell, you can't make a judgment on it yet. You just got to wait. And I think I'm going to probably wait till February to see how they report. And maybe then we can have a look at this again. But like I said, I mean, I think one day this is going to be really good buying.
All right, but it ain't now.
No, certainly not.
Now talk to, you know, let's talk about Dow. And again, thank you, CTM, because again, it really keeps us out of a story where, you know, there's reasons to like this story, but for some reason, CTM, all the forces at work said no, sell it, get out of it. It couldn't get over trend. It couldn't get over trend here either. And then Wolfie, smack.
Dave, I'll tell you what, I have to say, God help us all when we invest, because who would have seen these coming? I mean, come on. No. Accounting irregularities, doesn't matter how well-funded you are as a broker, right? Even the Goldman Sachs of the world or Macquarie would not pick this up. Unbelievable. And they've come out today saying accounting regulators, and I think they said overstatement of 30 to 40 million. What? God help us all as investors. I mean, if you see like this on a big company happening, and they can't even give us the figure at what is actually going to affect them bottom line. So,
well, surely, I mean, the big boys would just, I mean, this is sell across the board. It's going to be a lot of firings, CEOs gone, accountants gone. This is
probably litigation as well, Dave. I mean, this is going to be ugly for a little while.
For a big company like Downer with the sort of money they got behind them. Anyway, and of course all the shorters will be jumping on board now, so it looks awful.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, another absolutely disappointing announcement, Wolf. And
I want you to bring this one up because I want to show everyone why a lot of these sort of companies are all about marketing and FOMO instead of fundamentals, right? And I just want to bring that again point across.
Because I'm just trying to think now, you know, a lot of mums and dads are in this, and this is what they're going to read. And first thing in the morning, initial essays confirm high grade lithium. Yahoo, baby! I'm going to the moon. Let's buy some stock.
I think before this announcement, the FOMOs were going, this is going to be great. This is going to be fantastic. You know, it's going to be magnificent discovery. And what do they come up with? Come on, show us. All right, so we've got 10 meters. Hang on, let's start with the first one because this is quite interesting. 10 meters at 0.9 overall low grade. They had not even high grade at that small interval of 3 meters, 1.4. Like I said, to me, high grade is over 1.5. So not quite there, right? High-ish, but not quite high. 14 meters at 0.88. And look, within that 8 meters at 1, 3 meters at 0.9, that's not high. Next one, 18 meters at 0.72, 2 meters at 1.7. Okay, so they had 2 meter at 1.76. Okay, classified as high, but 2 meters, that's not mineable, right? The last one, 4 meters at point. This is poor. This is really,
it's
expectations.
like,
this is poor for expectations.
But Wolfie, it's like you said, you've got more lithium in your back garden than this, right? Most probably. Okay, it is ridiculous, and this is what's wrong. Initial confirmed high grade lithium discovery. I mean, I suppose what they argue, there's some high grade there means
that's right. That's right.
Okay, but anyway, that's not
exactly. So they pinpoint their, they just cherry picking out of that whole thing. They're just cherry picking high grade. Yeah, I've got a sniff of high grade. It's a high grade discovery. And of course, you're not going to just mine that high grade bit. You got to mine more of it. And when you look at it as a whole, it's not high grade.
Look, the stock trended right up to resistance and then bang.
Yeah. So disappointing from the FOMO point of view. And I know it's early days because they just released some polls, right? But really, the expectations were for much better than they've just released. That's why they're down 70%. And that's the issue when you trade these things on expectations and FOMO. When it doesn't come up to expectations, bang, down she goes.
Yeah, real disappointing stuff, Wolf. Now, another stock I think you've got to be wary about is PMT. So they've had a huge move up, and maybe you could look on.
I'm going to write that out to see what the actual charts are like on TSX.
So PMT, what is this is also traded in Canada, correct?
Yeah, I think Canada and Frankfurt. I think both exchanges.
So what's the market cap here compared to the market cap in Frankfurt? Because I know it's an interesting story, Wolf, but surely if I'm going to buy this, I want to buy it in the country which has got the where I can buy it cheapest.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, the thing is, it's jumping in Canada as well. I'm just looking at it too. So it's actually was up. And it had a good move over the last 3 weeks, right? There's no doubt about that. And it had a jump this week of 21% this week. But the jump here is significant. You're looking at, I think listed what? It's 50 cents or was it 60 cents? So it doubled, almost tripled on ASX here. So it doesn't quite equate, right, what it's done in Canada. But the chart in Canada looks spectacular. But by the way, I'm not sure. Maybe you can bring it up on trading.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. So
there you go.
So this is the Canada chart where that certainly has. Well, it's not quite doubled, right? But it's had a run.
Yes.
And most probably, if you actually look at that, it's most probably hit a pretty good exhaustion pattern, right? So most probably needs to, what will most probably happen is will most probably come down at least trade around this, be able to buy at about 8 again.
Yep.
Like it did here, maybe a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But what would be the market cap then trading it in Canada?
Let's have a look. I'm going to have a quick look what the market cap is in Canada, and that's $900 million Canadian dollars. 900
million Canadian dollars, right?
Yeah.
So can we work out what it's actually trading here in Australia?
I think it's on a ratio basis. So look, I can work this out. Let me do some numbers, and I need to have a quick proper look through it just in case I'm going to do something misleading. So let me have a look at the conversions and everything else, and maybe we'll come back to it tomorrow. But I think what you're saying is absolutely right. Just be wary of the Australian trading. I think you've got to look at what's happening in Canada more than what's happening in Australia.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why, because I sort of, CIA was a great winner for us over the years, Wolf.
Yeah.
But I remember it did struggle at times because, the Canadian market really suffered for a while on resource stocks, which really did pull CIA back. And I think it was in, around, somewhere around sort of 2018, 2019, where I thought the story was good enough to really have gone on with it and actually came back here, back to $1. And I think that was, largely due because in Canada, the stock just wasn't moving.
Yep, agree. So just don't fall into that FOMO trap with PMT. It's a good company. Don't get me wrong. We talked about it yesterday, that spectacular results. I mean, this is what you call high grade, big grade, 2% at 70 meters or whatever, right? That's what you're looking for, not 2 meters at 1.7.
Okay, Wolf, and I just want to speak about SOP. So the reason I do, because it's sort of trending. It's actually has got a better chart than this. For some reason, it's not. It's playing around with me a little bit, but it's actually got a buy signal at the moment. Look, for some reason that's not. Just go back to the weekly. Anyway, it's got a buy signal at the moment. It's looking good. It's up 10% today. I think if it's we'll have a look at it tomorrow. But this could be an interesting one for next week, and maybe go on and retest that 25 level. Yeah,
you're right. I'm not sure. I think you're a day or two behind, maybe, because like you said, the chart does look good on Reuters. So we'll look at it tomorrow for sure. It needs to stay like this.
Yeah, for some reason it hasn't caught up. I don't know.
I saw it this morning, so I don't know. Your system just went backwards for a few minutes.
Man, it's like it does.
Looking back.
It can do some mysterious things, old e-signal sometimes.
Exactly.
Now LRS, let's have a quick look at this one. Good looking chart. We've had a look at the results. So our view is it's fundamentally a sell, because you didn't see anything in that exciting enough, Wolf.
It wasn't spectacular. Dave, again, just bring up that announcement. I mean, this is the thing. There's nothing in there that you get excited about. Yeah, it's 12 million tons, but we've seen plenty of these now. 12 million tons at about 1.3. So fairly average on all sides, right? So there you go, 13.3 million tons at 1.2 actually. So it's actually just average. Nothing in there to get excited about. And being overseas, it just makes it even less attractive for me. If it was in Australia, I'd be more interested.
Whereabouts is this one?
South America. I think it was Brazil. I think.
God, yeah, Brazil worries you even more, doesn't it?
We've got bad memories.
Yeah, bad memories. Well, there's not many new projects actually get up in Brazil.
No.
And even Vale, who are the big boss there, look at the problems they have with their own projects.
And they've just actually downgraded their iron production again.
Oh God. So okay. So Wolf, I think we've cleared through most of it. Was there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, that's it. I think we're done for today. I think there's just a warning on lithium from Goldman Sachs, even though I'm just going to reiterate again, while Goldman Sachs looks pretty bearish, they were actually even more bearish about 2 months ago, because they had the price in 2023 much lower. So they've actually made it higher, but still going down to much lower prices in 2024. So in a way, it's good news from Goldman Sachs, but still bad news from a longer term point of view, where they've really chopped that price down to 11,000 from 80 something there at the moment. It's a crazy drop.
All right, thanks for that, Wolf. Really good warning. Thank you very much, Wolfie, and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
All right, cheers, guys. Bye.